ChatGPT knows a lot, like a lot. Some might say it knows everything. Well, it doesn't know everything, but it's very impressive. AI systems like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Meta can create photos, videos, and text. How do they do that? Well, they use something called neural network. Neural networks are sets of algorithms that work like how our brain processes information. But before we get into that, let's talk about how AI, like ChatGPT, knows so much. Many people think it just looks things up on the internet, but that's not quite true. In the early days of AI, especially around 2015 when customer care chatbots became popular, they worked using simple programming logic called if statements. Mostly, the programming language behind this logic is Python. Yes, there are languages used for programming. Anyway, this is a basic way for a machine to know how to respond based on certain inputs. For example, let's say we're building a chatbot that responds to greetings. The chatbot would be programmed with a set of if statements like this. Here's how it works. If the user says hello, the bot responds with hi there. If the user asks, how are you? It responds with I'm doing well. Thank you. If the user says anything else, the bot gives a generic response. Sorry, I don't understand. These bots could only handle a limited set of responses. They didn't have the ability to learn or generate new replies based on what was said. They simply checked the input and followed the set instructions, which was not intelligent at all, but at least it worked. Yeah. While this approach worked well for basic customer service, it was not going to be enough for AI like ChatGPT. For something as complex as ChatGPT, you would need millions or even billions of these if statements to cover all possible responses. Programmers would literally need to code these responses billions or trillions of times.
That's what I was gonna say. Because if statements is not, what is it, recursive? That would be like one of the hardest questions on the tech exam. They'd be like, all right, create a recursive function that iterates this thing over and over and over again 10 times. And I'll be sitting there like, nigga, fuck. I gotta think that, like, and they be doing them exams at like 7, like a military-ish, my nigga, 7 a.m. sharp. Like, that means you up at like 5 prepping so you could like cram. Cause don't nobody is gonna know what questions the niggas gonna ask for. 9 times out of 10, the senior dev just wanna like fuck you up anyways, my nigga. He gonna ask some question only he knows, cause he's in the company, my nigga. So like, yeah, yeah, this is Jim Carrey doing that shit is like to the teeth. You be stressing, nigga.
Trillions with a T. That's incredibly inefficient and
I
unscalable.
told you with a
Engineers
T.
realized that to make AI smarter, they needed something that could learn from data, something that could evolve and adapt, something more like a human being, or even better. Instead of relying on simple if statements, engineers created something called neural networks. These are like digital versions of how our brain works. Just as our brain recognizes patterns, like remembering a friend's face, neural networks find patterns in data. They learn from large amounts of information and then make guesses or predictions based on what they've learned. Neural networks are made up of layers. Each layer has small units called neurons, which process bits of data. The data moves through these layers step by step. At each layer, the network learns more about the data, improving its ability to make accurate predictions. This is similar to how our brain uses different areas to process what we see, hear, or feel. For example, in ChatGPT, the network first looks at the words you type. The first layers focus on understanding the basic meaning of each word. As the data moves deeper into the network, it starts to understand the relationships between the words, sentences, and the context of what you're asking. By the time the data reaches the final layer, the AI is ready to generate a response that seems intelligent and makes sense. This process allows neural networks to handle complex tasks like writing sentences, recognizing images, or even understanding speech, all by learning patterns instead of being programmed with strict rules. When you ask a question, ChatGPT doesn't pull a ready-made answer from a database. Instead, it uses patterns it learned from its training to write a response in real time. It does this with the help of its neural network, which is like a big web of connections that helps it make predictions. Think of it like this. Imagine a spider web where each link connects words or ideas. When you type a question, the AI breaks it down and uses what it knows to fill in the blanks, choosing the best words to create a reply. The bigger and more detailed the web with billions of connections, the better ChatGPT can guess and respond in a way that sounds human. Training AI is not simple. At first, it learns in steps by studying millions of examples. It gets feedback on whether its answers are right or wrong. Using this feedback, the AI adjusts itself to get better at giving correct answers. Over time, this process helps the AI improve and give more accurate replies. After the main training, the AI is fine-tuned for specific tasks. For example, it can be trained to answer questions or give more.
Like to make it simple, because this video didn't need to be 6 minutes, to make it like very simple, like very, very simple. There's information that you get, right? It could be any type of information. It's tailored to the open source LLM you want to use, or whichever the case may be, right? Fine tuning doesn't come in yet. You just get all the information. Once you get all that information, you then input it into the model, right? The model then has that information stored so it can query through it, and like anything you want to ask, like it's not fine tuning yet, but anything you'd want to ask, it'd almost be like a jailbroken item at that point because there's no limits or restraints to that LLM. So you can ask it how to make blank, or what weapon can I blank? You know what I mean? Like you can be very specific. And I'm using the blanks because I don't know how you guys are gonna do it, nor do I want to give you guys a tool or anything. So blanks is gonna be how I like censor things myself. From there, you take that data that it's giving you, you see if it's like, every model is different, so they might interpret the data you give it differently. You see if it's something that could be well suited, and if you notice something that you don't like characteristics or hallucinations, the list goes on. You kind of then fine tune it. That's when the fine tuning comes. You get what I mean? But fine tuning comes as a result of something faulty. It's not like you can get an AI and just fine tune it. What the fuck are you fine tuning is the question. You get what I mean? Like, what you want fine tune? The entire data you inputted? You don't even know if it works or not, or if it's giving you an issue. It could be like a one plug and play thing where this AI model knows how to regurgitate everything you put into that bitch. Everything. And there's certain models that, you might need to fine tune it and fine tune it some more and call for help because you got to fine tune that motherfucker so much that you might strip it from what it originally was. There's two ways to go about it. I just wanted to break it down because this doesn't need to be like a 6 minute video. I'd have a tendency to want to see what others know to see if I'm missing anything on my end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if anything on a knowledge based side I could add, because, I can't always be right. That's the mindset I work with. Can't always be right. There has to be someone who knows more than me. So I'm searching and searching. Smart response is someone I found just recently, just researching people who may know on this topic. Um, but yeah, for those who just don't know what open AI or modeling is, or how AI really works, large language model, data, combine it, artificial intelligence. You feel me? AGI is artificial general intelligence, meaning no data that it has to be on. Data is like no data, everything that we have for consciousness, my nigga. That's it. Like consciously knowing that, hey, look, if I tell this person this, he may do something with it. You know what I mean? So the question of if AGI is here or not, that's subjective to what you're actually trying to like solve. If you're trying to solve if AGI got consciousness, yes, AGI. I mean, if you're trying to solve if AI is here based off of consciousness, sorry for the words, then yes, AGI is here. How do I know? Well, you have ChatGPT with the reports it came out with yesterday. You have Claude with the reports it came out with 2 days ago, 3 days ago about how Claude knows when to not act like itself, to not do more. Look, it's crazy to think that an artificial product can already think like that. So for you to say AGI isn't here, I can't agree with you. Now, it depends what your definition of AGI is. If it's robots, then yeah, you win. You feel me? Because I don't feel like we have robots yet. We have robotics in the works. So in a couple of years, your idea of AGI may change. But I don't. It's up to what you want to solve, what use case you're trying to solve. Like, there's no right or wrong answer in this field. It's just you.
More detailed responses. When new data is available, the AI is trained again. This helps it stay up to date and continue improving over time. But these AIs don't all learn in the same way. AI can learn in two main ways: supervised learning, and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning. In this type of learning, humans teach the AI by giving it labeled data. For example, people might show the AI pictures of cats and dogs and label each one. The AI learns to recognize which is which by comparing new images to what it was taught. Unsupervised learning. Here, the AI learns by itself without much help from humans. It looks at large amounts of data to find patterns. For example, it might analyze online shopping data to figure out which products are often bought together, even if no one tells it to do so. Okay, but how come an AI generates photos and videos? Well, AI that generates images works in a similar way. Imagine teaching a child to recognize dogs and cats. If you only show them one picture of each, they might struggle to tell the difference when they see new pictures. But if they see lots of examples, they start to understand the differences. In the same way, AI is trained on millions of images like dogs, cats, faces, and landscapes. It learns the patterns in these images and uses those patterns to create new ones. So when you ask an AI to make a picture of a cat, it combines what it has learned to create a brand new, unique image. Okay, but how does AI make voices like Siri or the voice you're hearing right now? If you couldn't tell it's an AI, then wow. The voice you hear from AI, like Siri or Alexa, is made using advanced neural networks. To create a voice, the AI is trained on a huge collection of recorded phrases by real voice actors. These phrases are recorded in various tones and connected to words in the AI's system. When you ask Siri a question, it first generates a text response, just like how ChatGPT does. Then, it uses a voice synthesis system to assemble and play back the right sounds based on the text. The speaker in your device takes these electrical signals and converts them into sound waves, which you hear as Siri's voice. If you're curious about how a speaker actually produces sound, don't forget to subscribe and check out the video on your screen.
Now, needed to let the video finish out because I didn't want to pause it because he did have some great content. I'm gonna let him know that I stopped by. Hey, so this reacted and great work, man. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get more involved into that community of developers. I know there's a lot of developers that just want to touch the news, but it feels like everybody's just so out of reach with each other. So I just want to be like, I'm tech match. I want to connect the bridge. We all to be in the same room with each other, anyways, if we all know this topic, right? So go subscribe to Smart Response. Seems like he's giving you a lot of AI stuff, and we need it. We need a lot of coverage on this topic. And yeah, make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe on his channel.